Hey, Cards fans, welcome back to the Redbird Rundown, presented by I-70 Sports, your home for all things St. Louis Cardinals. I'm Andy, joined today with Matt and Jonathan, and we would love it if you guys just take a second, share us on Spotify and Apple, get those links out with your friends, take the content on Facebook, Blue Sky, Twitter, and you can watch us also on YouTube. So today, boys, it has been a slowish week, and I thought of myself as a 76ers fan for a while, like trust the process a bit. That's what I meant by that, of the Embiid era. Because I kind of tipped my hand on my vibe check. I have two vibe checks that I'm going to go for here. I think that's a first on the rundown.
Wow.
I have a Cardinals vibe check, and then I have a life one. So today, the only thing, listener, that we're breaking down really is going to be the Dustin May. We're going to go a little deeper. You got the breaking news with us last week, and we're just going to go a little deeper in of what we think about him, some of his stuff, and then what we think the rotation is going to look like based on current information here at the end of December. So before we do that, I'll do my Cardinals one, my vibe check for the Cardinals, and then I'll go around and I'll swing back at the life one. So my Cardinals vibe check is is trust the process, because I'm sure there are many things, as Matt has said, many irons in the fire, right? I'm sure that we're waiting. There's things to clear. And I think this is the first off season perhaps ever that I have been like in on like waiting and anticipation. And you guys
Uh-huh.
have probably experienced this way more than I have. So I'll have to listen to your guys's experience here. But I just feel like I, I wish we would do something, anything like, and so yeah. So what do you guys? You
Yeah.
guys are more experienced in anticipation during the off season. Does this feel like normal? Does this feel slow to you guys? Because
Yeah.
I was like, I guess I'll trust the process. Like I want us to do something, but we're not.
It all kind of feels slow in the baseball offseason because there has to be other dominoes that fall first, right? So like Bregman. I mean, remember last offseason, Andy? We were so worried about Arenado because Bregman had to sign. Well, Bregman still hasn't signed. Eugenio Suarez still hasn't signed. Those are like on the pecking order higher than something like Arenado. Same with Donovan. You saw Brandon Lau got traded, right? That's one domino maybe that falls. Ketel Marte, right? There are just some things that have to happen. And when those things happen, then you'll start to see the Donnie trade or these other things. But to answer your question, to circle around, yes, it feels really slow. It does. There's no getting around it, but there is a bit of an explanation for that.
Matt, what's your vibe
But
check? And we'll go back to
yeah, I mean,
Johnny's.
yours leads right into mine, which my vibe check is I'm getting a little impatient. I
Hmm.
also trust the process. I trust what Bloom is doing until he starts making what I think are missteps. I'm going to continue to think that he's doing his job in the way that it should be done. But I'm a little impatient, like a kid on the way to some kind of fun vacation destination,
Are
because
we there yet?
exactly. I think we're headed to a quote unquote fun vacation destination with all this stuff. I think there's going to be moves. I think there's going to be new life into the organization because it's, out with the old, in with the new. But it's a little bit of like, okay, well, I'm on mile marker 55 and it
Hmm.
feels like 15 minutes later I'm on mile marker 57 and I'm just
Yeah.
getting a little antsy, a little impatient, and I don't know. We're recording this on Sunday, the 20th. I don't know how much more we're going 21st, excuse me. I don't know how much more we're going to see before Christmas. Who knows though? Maybe Heim will wrap us up a present and let us open it here this week.
Yeah, it just for me, and Jonathan, we'll get your vibe check.
Yeah.
It the uh and I'm just gonna butcher the guy's last time. Muntaka, the guy who led,
Hmm.
he just signed with the White
Mm-hmm.
Sox, and he's 25, led the Nippon League, which is the Japanese league, in home runs. He has kind of a high whiff rate, K rate, so a lot of people were like balking at that. It's things like that that I see us making moves in our rotation. And I'm happy for those things. We're getting a lot of high strikeout rate guys, but I would love to see the Cardinals do anything to address the lack of power in left field, right field, and third base. You can make an argument that we have some power at first. So either way,
Yeah.
that's part of I gotta trust that there's something that he also sees, that I'm sitting in a chair in Southern Illinois and I'm not the only one. Like he also has eyes on that as well. Jonathan, what's
Yeah.
your vibe check?
Yeah, no, it's actually funny. You guys are all hitting right around where mine was, is that I'm going to continue to be patient I know it sucks. It really does. But I'm going to be patient until we get really close to spring training. That's when I start to get a little irritated because it's like, okay, I'm ready to this page is over because it feels like we're still lingering in 2025. So I'm still going to give it some time. Yes, I'm going to start to get nervous in the middle of January, towards the end of January, because then we're talking about, a few days until spring training. So I understand why this is slow, and some of these things are starting to break, right? The Murakami signing, that one,
Hmm.
the Brandon Lau trade. Some things are happening. A lot of the bullpen guys have come off the table as well too. So I don't know. It feels like we have seven things to do, and time is only so long, right? So I'm gonna be patient, but the further we go along in this, I'm gonna start to be a little skied.
Yeah, well, I have one more thing that I want to talk about, but it kind of jumping the gun of what we're going to talk about. It feels like we kind of did a high risk, high reward signing with Dustin May, which is what we're going to talk about today. And all I'm advocating for is like, can we please, 100%, the Cardinals need to do things like that. That's where we are as an organization. We don't have the luxury of being like, oh, this is a 90-92 win game, win
Season, yeah.
team. Yeah, there has got to be some changes made, or do we trust the minor leagues, or but like we're seeing enough to be like we need some power. My non Cardinals vibe check is this, gentlemen. It's not it's a vibe question.
Yeah.
Would you let your jaw be broken for $90 million? Go.
Yes, no question.
Oh, I thought you said your job for a
No, no,
second, and I
jaw.
was like, my
Oh,
jaw.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, are we talking like irreparably disintegrated or just a
Yeah,
punch to the face?
Jake Paul, a
mm.
Anthony Joshua size fist hitting, and you are Jake Paul. Would you take it?
Oh, I can drink
Yeah.
milkshakes for a few months on $90 million for sure.
Andy, whenever this is a deep cut here, folks, so buckle in. When you are on the character creation screen for the undead in World of Warcraft,
Okay, yeah.
and there's no jaw, and it's just
Yes.
tongue hanging out,
Yep.
that's where I'm willing to be for half of 90 million. Give me 45 and I'd do it. Give me
There's
half of that and I'd do it.
there's got to be a better term for that than deep cut. That was not a deep cut. That was like center core of the earth cut right there.
Yep.
The
Yeah.
undead screen
So
on
did
World of
anybody
Warcraft.
watch it on Netflix?
No,
Did anyone
No.
see the
I
highlights of
didn't think so.
that?
No, but Anthony Joshua was enormous. I don't know what to tell you.
He is
He's
a
enormous.
mammoth of a man. He's
Yeah.
275, and he there's already rumors speculating that he pulled punches through the first four rounds, that like Jake Paul paid him off to like quote unquote make it look like he was in the ring with a. So, listener, if you have no idea what we're talking about, Jake Paul is one of the Paul brothers who is a YouTuber turned boxer, and he is if you're a baseball
Incredibly annoying, or
incredibly, and he's like the Trevor Bauer of like the YouTube world. Like no one likes him.
not what you want. Yeah.
Not a
Uh,
good comp.
and so lots of people. The reason why, like, this is the same guy who fought Tyson, Mike Tyson. So, uh, this lots of people are paying money just to watch someone literally shut him up, and
Happened.
it happened. So people are already speculating that he went like four rounds, and you could see a couple moments. I can see like a couple of people have posted like video, uh, like replays of like here's where we think he pulled punches, and okay, maybe I could see where like he like didn't, but man, it was for me personally, it was so I don't relish in people's like I don't usually want people to like be hurt.
I was
Uh,
gonna say, sounds like you're kind of relishing this one a little bit.
Yeah.
but it was just satisfying to like watch someone who's so loudmouthed to be
Sure.
in the moment, like he gets hit with a body shot, drops his guard down, and Anthony Joshua knows it, like sees it. He literally smiles about 5 seconds before he delivers the punch that broke Jake Paul's jaw, and you can see the look of like I messed around and I'm about to find out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like is that motion of like realization in his eyes, like it hit him, like, and then it did hit him, uh, and broke his
You
jaw.
know what they say about karma? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So either way, but then so I was talking about that with some of my friends here, and I would 100% take $90 million to go fight a Olympic
No
gold
question.
As long as there's no
medalist.
brain damage, I should caveat that. I don't want brain damage from the punch, but yeah, I'm in.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Line me up. 90 million. All right. So let's dive in, boys, to this. Probably as best I can describe it is Dustin May is was dealt a odd accident that
Certainly.
spiraled, like just physically completely altered his physique because of what he had to undergo and go through because his numbers are not great, but we are the opportunity. We're like the rebound. Like he is putting on muscle. He's his therapy is going through. Like so, I feel like this is truly. We're gonna see. This is kind of his prove it to the world. Because I don't know if he does really well. Is this somebody that the Cardinals are able to hang on to? Like if the Chi Sox just signed Japanese's home run leader as to a prove it contract, which was 2 years, 17 million a year, so 34, is our signing of him kind of okay, we'll give you a shot. We respect your stuff, and we're gonna give you a chance. Can the Cardinals keep him? Maybe we'll answer that after we talk about maybe some of his stuff. But it's just a thought that I had of just like, what if he like goes off and like is this,
Sure.
you know, Matt?
I think we should clarify for the listener too. You were talking about his odd accident. It's this
Yes.
esophagus tear that happened in 2024 while he was recovering from Tommy John. So
Right.
there's essentially, to me, there's two issues with Dustin May. There's the elbow health, which has
Yes.
been a complicated story, and then there's this extremely odd and unfortunate esophagus incident. And
Yep.
Andy, to your point, losing 40 pounds and he lost velocity on his pitches. Well, you're the best pitcher on this podcast right now, Andy. Like you push with your legs, you drive your velocity with your legs. And so, yeah, that's when you change your body, you're going to change as a pitcher. And
Yeah.
I just think that is the story of Dustin May in the last 12 to 18 months is that esophagus tear.
Well, side note, Jake Paul fought a guy who was 40 pounds heavier than he was. Let's see how that turned out. That's exactly the weight difference. So, yeah, there's a
Yeah.
significant difference to 40 pounds, especially for a professional athlete. It's one thing if it's somebody who has the 40
Who
pounds
has
to
40
lose.
pounds to give up? Yeah,
Yeah,
true.
easily. And it's another for a guy who's in the weight room every single day or whatever, 5 times a week, and he loses 40 pounds.
Yeah. I feel like there's an infinite amount of upside with somebody like Dustin May because we've seen him be excellent with the Dodgers. Came up and was, I mean, just awesome for them for a couple of years. Pitched in a World Series, right? Like he's done
Mhm.
it. He's been there. Matt, he's almost like to me like the complete antithesis of Jordan Hicks. Jordan Hicks,
Okay.
we wanted him to be awesome, electric stuff, more electric than Dustin May. I would be willing to bet,
Mhm.
but never ever put it together. Not because of injury, he just couldn't ever put it together. Couldn't find the plate. Didn't have alternative pitches that were good. Where Dustin May, like I said, it's like the opposite situation. Oh, can he stay healthy? Fingers crossed. If he stays healthy and he returns back to that form, this guy was at the top of the rotation for the Dodgers. That's no joke, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, what is he? He's a sinker sweeper guy, right? Those are his two pitches. He doesn't really have a third pitch he leans on that I saw. I mean, he has a couple, but those are his two primary bread and butter pitches.
Mhm.
Last year he struggled, Andy. You've already alluded to that with the Red Sox. Well, that's because his sinker got absolutely destroyed. Well, the velocity's down. You already know we've done this exercise with Mr. Sonny Gray, who's a Red Sox now. His sinker, his fastball, his straight stuff. It just when the miles per hour start to degrade, it's easier to hit.
Mm-hmm.
So batters last year had a 567 slug against his sinker and a hard hit rate of 55%. Listen, any pitch that's got a hard hit rate of over half is not great. His sweeper, though, is still very effective, and that's good. When you still have the movement on the sweeper, hopefully this new health, renaissance here, he gains the weight back, his arm feels good.
We can't use renaissance. It's Renaissance here at this
Renaissance.
podcast. Yep.
That's right, it's renaissance. The renaissance of his arm and his body. The sinker is going to get better, and that will happen, right? So, like I said, Matt, and that was a long-winded way of coming back to this, I have so much hope for this
Mm-hmm.
because I've seen guys with electric arms, and it's like, oh, he can't find the strike zone. Oh, he doesn't have a secondary pitch. Dustin May has those things. We just need him to be healthy.
Yeah, I mean he has four pitches, right? Am I saying that right?
I
Like
think that's what I saw, yeah.
he throws four pitches. So, uh, do we think that he is going to take our number one slot? Is he a number two starter? Where this season? So impact of the Cardinals rotation. Where is Dustin May this year? What do you guys think?
Well, I'd say he's our number one starter. I think I would expect him to see him on opening day for sure. And Jonathan, I want to go back to what you said about the usage here.
Sure.
Something I saw interesting is when he went from the Dodgers to the Red Sox, he's got a four seamer and a sinker and a sweeper. And to your point, the sweeper remained an excellent pitch. Kind of like if you're thinking about pitchers, that's kind of like your out pitch, your strikeout pitch, your get the out, right? You get ahead of him with the fastball sinker, that kind of stuff, and then you get him out with the sweeper. So it's good to see, even through the injury, that sweeper remains extremely effective. What I thought was interesting, and maybe we can talk about this a little bit, is the four seam usage went way up with the Red Sox, and the sinker came way down with the Red Sox. And I don't know exactly what that is, because you'd think with the Green Monster in Boston, you'd want to keep the ball, you'd want the sinker because you want to keep the ball on the ground. But I wonder if two things can happen. This has to be what the Cardinals are thinking. One, let's get that sinker usage back in gear at Busch, because Busch is a home run suppression thing anyway. Also, our infield defense is incredible. And two, if because of this regained physique and muscle put back on, I don't even know that his sinker velocity has to go back to like the top stretches of the game, which is where he was earlier. I just think if he can add a couple miles an hour onto that sinker, that's the difference between just getting smoked like a double-A pitcher and being a competitive major league pitcher. And we just traded a guy to Boston in Sonny Gray, whose sweeper is his go-to pitch. So it's not like Dustin May couldn't. I mean, he's a professional athlete. It's not like he can't kind of reimagine himself in some way, provided he still has that. You got to have some kind of gas on the sinker. And so I wonder if I'd just be very interested to watch early on if they flip that four-seam fastball on the sinker. Jonathan or Andy, did you see anything? Like, can you think of why Boston may have done that?
I mean, I'm looking at some of the Fangraph stuff from run value and I see your percentages, what you're talking about. I don't know. Sometimes I think that teams get pitchers and they like to do something a certain way. Like it's known that the Cardinals like to pitch sweet. They like to throw sliders. They like to teach sliders. That's obviously a pretty common pitch, has been for a long time. I don't know that I can, like off the top of my head, Matt, say like, oh, well, it's because he couldn't locate the four seam. That's not true. If you look at the statistics, he did locate his four seam just as well as he located his sinker in those really good years for the Dodgers. So maybe it's just a philosophical change. Maybe that's just something that the Red Sox want to do. Andy, are you
I think he learned the slider. So if you go through his pitch splits, the pitch type, so from 2019 through 2023, he is throwing pretty much heavy sinker, heavy hard sinker. Okay.
Yeah, like 99 miles an hour, like top of the majors. Yeah, velocity wise.
And then the cutter and the four seamer flip flop back and forth between the second most thrown pitch and the third most thrown pitch, and then closes it up with pretty much curveball. His number one pitch thrown in Boston was a slider that was not registered at all as one of his pitch types. He went from not throwing it to throwing it the most in his career. So you talk about us trying to teach people a slider. Maybe the Boston definitely. It had to. It literally wasn't one of his pitches. He didn't throw it. It goes down to in 2019 it shows a changeup. He only threw the changeup 6 times. There's not a slider on this list at all, and he threw it 853 times last year. So and his four seamer, people's batting average was the lowest on his four seamer. He threw it about 361 times, so about half as often as the slider. So I'm most interested. That's the thing that jumps out to me when I look at like the pitch type is like we went from a guy who I'm sure knows how to throw a slider. My Lord, like you said, they're professional pitchers, but like from game, like literally not registered in the 4 or 5 seasons that he's played to, okay, we're going to work on this and we're going to throw it almost as much, the most, and
we're going to have success with it. It's going to be a good pitch. Yeah.
Yeah. Something that I looked at that I'm curious what you guys think. So StatCast, Baseball Savant, powered by StatCast, is an excellent tool. It's one of my favorite ones. It's really like beautiful to look at. You scroll down and the visuals make a lot of sense. So if you're interested in any kind of player, that is really helpful, especially when it comes to pitching. Well, they have a section that talks about the pitcher's arm angle. And I found this to be pretty interesting because it has changed pretty drastically every single year for him. So we're going to try not going to get too far into the weeds here, but Think about your arm would be on
Take
like
us
a
out. Take us
oh,
out
yeah.
into him.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
we'll go out into the weeds. Get your boots on.
I love it.
Horizontal plane, right? That's like sidearm. You've seen guys throw sidearm. You've seen guys throw submarine.
Mhm.
But when he broke onto the scene, it was a 27-degree angle. So that's not exact. Obviously, that's not horizontal. It goes up to 32. So you're thinking that's a little more like over the top to 24, back down in 2022, back up to 30 degrees. And now in 2025, it is the lowest it's been at 21 degrees. That's almost sidearm, really close or getting close to it. 20 degrees off that plane there. I think he's probably doing that to get less hurt, as grammatically incorrect as that is.
Yeah.
I think that where he's at and how he was releasing, he must have been messing with that. Because if you look at other pitchers, this is not something that fluctuates year after year. It really doesn't. Whenever you find your release point, that's kind of what you do. So for him, maybe this is something he's trying to do to save his elbow, to maybe save some of that injury, and you're losing some velocity because if you just picked up a ball and you threw it sidearm, you would throw it not as hard as you could as if you threw it over the top. I'm just assuming that. So maybe that's part of his mile per hour dip, the velo dip, was he's kind of throwing it a little more sidearm to save his arm. Am I way off on that?
No, for sure. I mean, I'm not a physician, but I mean, watching videos of guys rubber banding that elbow with this throwing motion that major league pitchers have to do, I would imagine. Matt, and you asked about the sinker, right? Like if it is so. Fangraphs also, you can, the thing that I like to do is bring it to like a normalized, like 100 equals average. And
Yeah.
I like those. So WRC, they have WRC plus of pitches. And so this is what opposing batters were hitting off of a pitch. Okay. So we go from his WRC plus of that sinker is kind of all over the place through his career, year to year, but it is by far the biggest jump. It jumps up to, remember, listener, 100 is league average off of a pitch. Like the batters, it does 100, they're league average. That sinker was 170. People were hitting 170 off of it.
Yeah.
And so that's
I mean,
not
that's like
great.
Shohei Ohtani at the plate. It's just to put that in perspective for people. That the entire league was hitting like Shohei off that sinker. Sorry, Andy, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and his cutter, which had been and still continues, if you total up his entire career, that slider that he learned was third in terms of his entire career. The cutter was second. And last year, okay, we thought the sinker was bad because sinker, once again, the listener was 170. The cutter, in which he's thrown second most in his career, they hit 219 off of it last year. So
That's Aaron Judge.
yeah, right. So, and
Literally.
meanwhile, that slider was at a 77 that he learned. So
So
yes,
Victor Scott.
right. So, and the four seamer was still at about league average, 91. It was right around. It's a passable, serviceable four seam fastball. So that is interesting, Jonathan and Matt. Like it could be the elbow, the Tommy John stuff with that sinker. It could be some type of like ligament, like something doesn't feel right. But buddy, Dustin, throw all the sliders. If you want to feel good about yourself, have Jordan Walker come up and do BP with you, and you throw BP and throw a couple of sliders because he'll never hit it. Right?
Confidence builder. That's right. And I think
right.
I think too, we have to trust Dusty Blake and his crew a little bit here. They've had a fairly good track record of making guys be successful here. Now let's just close our eyes and not look at the Andre Palante corner for a second last year. But there's been some success in the bullpen. There's, Sonny has continued to thrive. Liberatore had his entire first year. I do want to see what they do with him as well. Coupling that with another year of health. I mean, think about that, right? I mean, if you look at all major sports, a guy coming off of a major injury, his first year is really never that great. So if that's the case, you flush it with the Red Sox, which makes me feel good that he'd be bad for the Red Sox, right? And then maybe come over here and the year removed from his rehab year, maybe he's much better. I have a lot of hope for this one.
Yeah, there's one more kind of repertoire thing, and then I want to talk about, Andy, when you're ready to, like a pedigree thing with him. But the thing we haven't mentioned yet in this wide-ranging discussion about his repertoire is he's not really like an overwhelming strikeout pitcher. Never has been. Has been at moments in his career, like in between his injuries, has been incredibly successful. I don't think we can overemphasize that. This is one of the best pitchers in baseball. He has had moments where he's one of the best pitchers in baseball,
Right.
but it's not because of strikeouts. it's respectable, but it's not anything like approaching 1K per nine.
No.
I don't have the stats in front of me, but it's more like in the 7Ks per nine, 8Ks per nine. Pretty good, but not crazy. So it's basically league average strikeout stuff. So that once again, I'm thinking that sinker is going to be very important to get that back out of Shohei Ohtani, kind of WRC plus, and more towards Victor Scott WRC plus, because again, our infield defense is going to scoop up stuff all over the place and you're going to make him look better than he's actually pitching. So I don't know. It's just it is an interesting swing for our franchise when if you look at our minors, it's just a strikeout train passing through the minors. This is not the case with Dustin May. He's more in the kind of libertor sort of strikeout range.
Well, I think that probably we needed to offset. I mean, obviously, they probably knew that we were shopping Sonny, and we all offseason have been like question mark on who we throwing in there and this as a fifth person. So, uh, yeah, it's a body. Jonathan,
Yeah,
yeah, it's just it's someone that there is definitely upside to.
certainly.
And we need some, like I just the only memory that I have that I can liken it to, Matt, of just like to answer your question of why are we doing this with when there's so much high K stuff in the minor leagues is like we don't we don't necessarily want to like Rick Ankiel somebody again. Like
Mm.
we don't want to drag. That's the only thing that I have is like we have this guy who's trying to be a redemption story. Like that's his story arc, right? He's a protagonist and he got beat up. He got the crap beat out of him. So now like
Mhm.
he physically literally did.
He's
So
woken
now
up in some kind of prison that he has to escape or
Yeah,
something with.
right.
yeah, and so we have to. He is. I would imagine motivated to show I've got it. I
Oh,
can do this.
Yeah.
And so maybe Heim's looking at this going, okay, we'll put you in there and it will give some of the pressure off some of these young guys that we're going to bring up. I'm speaking into existence. Don't care. Heim, bring up the kids. Let's see what
Hmm.
they got. So it just gives us,
Yeah.
he's going to be 29 later this year. Someone who is, in terms of professional sports, older, if you will. He's out of the younger years that baseball has. So perhaps that's what I take away is that this is just like, well, we needed somebody anyway. There's a pretty good upside if his stuff comes back. Let's try it out. We're not gonna be 100 like we're not gonna win 100 games this year. So let's give Dustin May a shot.
And if he's serviceable, guys, and we don't want to extend it, this is just free prospects at the
true.
deadline.
Yep.
It is because if this doesn't work out for Dustin May as a starter and it's velocity related, let's just say his sinker gets crushed and it's easy to see that it's still 95 instead of 97. Well, you could probably see 97 if you work out of the pen, right?
True.
Maybe he transitions. Maybe, the starting days are behind him if he struggles and the sweeper's still effective. And if you gain a couple ticks of velo on the back end of the bullpen, we already know everybody loves trading for bullpen pieces at the deadline. I think that's the idea. If he pops,
Mm.
everybody's like, "Heim, you genius." If he's okay, they try to flip him at the deadline and get some prospects. So it really there is no like negative from this. If he's bad and nothing happens, you just cut him after a year, right? There is zero risk in this.
I agree with that. Can I do a pedigree thing, or do you have something
Go
else you
for
want
it.
us to do, Andy? Okay, so I'm going to extremely quickly walk everybody through his injury history because it's kind of odd. So he's
Yeah.
a top 20 prospect in baseball for a couple years. 2020, he busts onto the scene with the Dodgers and is excellent. Okay, 21, he has Tommy John, and that knocks out most of 22 also. Listen, that happens to pitchers all the time. Pitchers come back all the time from that. Shohei Ohtani, right? They come back all the time, and they're good. So 23, he once again started awesome, started the year incredible. And this is the weirdest part of his whole injury history to me. He's got to have UCL revision surgery. So something somehow went wrong with that UCL surgery for the 2021, 2022 years. I found that very odd. And then, of course, 2024 was this extremely weird esophagus thing. So we're talking about a guy who's not been just straight healthy until the first part of 2023 and really not since 2020. That's
Yeah.
a long time, and there is some concern there for sure. But
100%.
Andy, I think you said something really important. He is 28. He's not 33, so he's still like in his athletic prime.
Yes.
This is the other part of this I like from the Cardinals, and then I'll quit here. But the other part is we're taking a shot on a high pedigree guy. This is a guy who's been ultra talented all the way through. The realistic expectation is probably not that he's like competing for Cy Youngs. I don't really expect that. But
No.
I love when teams do this. They take a shot on a guy that's still a good age and his pedigree is immaculate, like super talented guy. I really, really like that we're doing this.
Yes.
I agree. I
Yeah.
agree.
I mean, I'll give through, this patience is what I'm trying to get at. I just really need the power to be there for the Cardinals in the lineup. I need it.
Mm.
It's gonna be painful. Uh, Something I do want to see if you guys want to give over unders on what do you think his win
Hmm.
record is going to be? So I have. Do you take a over or an under on 9.5 wins?
Just for Dustin May,
Yep.
under.
Okay.
And I only say that because
The Cardinals are going to be bad this year.
Yeah,
And
can we do an over under on ERA?
yeah.
Can we not do pitcher wins
yeah,
because
that's fine. That's
it's
fine.
so environmental onto our team. So Andy, set where you think a good over under is for ERA.
4.5
Yeah.
over
Oh,
under.
4.5. Okay. I'll take the under on 4.5. I don't know how many innings it's going to be in. That's going to obviously be the other key here. Is how many innings do we get out? But I think we're trending in the right direction health wise. I've seen some of his comments. He's normal. He's healthy. He's working. He's throwing like normal. So I'm going to take. We've never seen him fail when he's been healthy. So I'm going to take under 4.5 for sure.
Okay, so there's been 2 seasons where he's been over 4.5, and there's been 3 seasons where he's under. So that's the reason why I went 4.5. Either way.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
good.
that's good. And I look at Sierra, and you guys both know that Sierra's never wrong for me.
Okay.
So I see his Sierra, even in his bad years, is under 4.5. And that's skill interactive ERA. That's like a FIP thing. That's real down into the weeds, but it tries to segregate out all the other random interactions of baseball and it's like how good were his pitches. His ERA should have been this. So yeah, I think I'd take under 4.5 as well on that. And
Yeah.
isn't it crazy before we move on? How pitcher wins have just completely disappeared from it was so important, however many years ago, and now it's just like five and dive, 4 innings. You know what I'm saying? Like there is no like stretch the
There's
guy.
some of that. And then it's just so dependent. I mean, you could throw 7 innings of 1 run ball and not get the
Yeah,
win because
Yeah,
your team doesn't score.
that's
yeah,
true.
If you win 18 games, you're a good pitcher,
yeah.
but you could go 9-13 and win the Cy Young,
Well, I
because
think
you're a great
Skeens.
pitcher.
what
Yeah.
did Skeens do, Andy? Was he like 9 and 10 this year or something like that? I thought he was under 500.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean, he
pretty
was not.
sure.
Yeah, oh, 100% he was.
Felix
Record.
Hernandez has won it with, going under 500 for the Mariners too. So it's just
Yeah,
so team dependent. And that's not going to be kind, I'm afraid,
He
to our
was
pitchers
yeah.
this year.
he was 10-10, so Skeens
Oh,
was
Okay.
500.
okay.
Best pitcher on the planet, and you can only go 500. You know what I mean? So that's a weird measure.
Pirates problems, baby. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
just
They're
poor
playing ball this
Pittsburgh.
offseason.
They're trying to.
Mm.
They're trying to.
They're trying
Yes.
to.
So yeah, let's loop around to that question that I posed.
Yes, yes.
How does it change the rotation?
Yeah. Okay.
Is he our number one? So Matt's already answered. He thinks he's going to be opening day starter. Jonathan, is Dustin May going to trot out there at 220.66 and be our opening day starter?
I'll just to play devil's advocate, I'll just say it's Libertor.
Mm.
Only because he's been here. I think Matt, you're probably right. He is. We're talking just strictly talent and upside. May is the best on the roster. But I'm going to go with Libertor. And is the five this? Is it May, Libertor, McGreevy, Palante, Fitz? Leahy's the long man? I say that with a lot of dripping question.
I
Matt?
have May, Libby, Fitz, McGreevy for sure in there, and I think Heim's comments about Fitz backs that up. I also think Heim's comments about Dustin May backs that up too. He was talking about how he's done this, he's performed, so I think they have some confidence in him.
Okay.
I don't know. Okay, if it's me, it makes a lot of sense to me to keep Leahy in the bullpen as an extremely valuable piece. But if it's also me, I can't watch Andre Palante pitch anymore. Or maybe, Jonathan, you said
Yeah.
this earlier this offseason. You might be right. Maybe it is worth trying to give him a couple more months. He's 26 years old or whatever he is, Palante, maybe 27. So
You should
I
know.
don't know.
You're
Andy,
his grandma.
yeah,
He's
you're right.
27.
Andre, throw strikes, buddy. Andy, what do you think? Do you think
I
May, Libby, Fitz, McGreevy? I think those four are in for sure.
Yeah, they're in. I think that this spring training is going to dictate. I don't. If we could be honest and we could have Haim on to and Ollie onto the pod and they be honest and truthful, I don't know necessarily if they've made a decision about who's the opening day starter. Maybe they
That's
have,
probably true.
but
Yeah.
I don't think I think that there's probably some like we're gonna wait just a little bit and see how he
Yeah.
performs in spring training to make a decision of who we're rolling out there because I don't see us having like last year it was Sunny, no question. Like, right? Like if I would have come
Yes.
last year and been like, oh, I think it's going to be McGreevy or Libby, you guys been like, Andy, you can't say that. Like, we know you're the casual fan, but you really can't say that.
Uh,
I don't think that there is a true number one. And I mean, Dustin May has the ability to be, but I don't
Hmm.
know. That's where I'm at with it. Is I guess it's a cop out of wait and see because I don't necessarily know if we have a number one. It's just gonna be like, yeah, okay, it's gonna be Libby. Oh, it could be Fisk. I don't know. It could be. I don't think that we have like, okay, no, this is our number one starter. We don't
Right.
have that.
Right. What's going to be real interesting is they keep making noise about potentially adding another starter, an innings eater kind of guy. And if that's the case, then I think that starting pitcher jumble gets really jumbled for sure.
oh
I
yeah.
think there are clear signals that we are not going to see Quinn Matthews at the start of the season. I want to, but I just don't think he's ready yet. I don't think they think that. But if we add another guy that's proven, then your Palante, I don't even know for sure. That's going to be
Yeah.
real
Well,
interesting.
you're
Yeah.
limiting yourself
Yeah.
that we haven't shipped someone off. Like, are they saying they want to
So
add
I was gonna
someone
say.
because that
They're going to
they
add, who are we going to ship though? Not Libby, not Fitz, not
No, no, no.
McGree. You know
I
what I
think
mean?
Andy, are you saying like trade Donovan and maybe get, Bryce Miller back from the
Oh,
Mariners? Is that what you're saying?
something like that. Yeah. Of just, yeah, maybe misspoke there. Sorry. Yes, that's what I meant. Is something
Okay.
like that.
One of the returns for one of these guys could be a major league ready starting pitcher. Yeah, I think that's entirely possible. And
Yeah.
then I really don't know what it looks like. I mean, I know what I would do, but I truly don't know what it looks like for the franchise.
Yeah, I don't either. And I think in that case, let's say it's like, and I can't see this. Like I thought Sandy Alcantara, what do the Marlins want from us? That feels like a contender. Like the
Yeah.
Orioles, they traded
Yeah.
for Shane Baz. They wanted him, like something like that. But I could see Andy, to your point, another guy coming back in one of these hypothetical trades where that's when the sphincter squeezes a little bit if you're Palante. Because I want
Yeah.
to give him another shot. His underlying stats prove, I think, that he gets another shot. But if there's another proven guy coming back of the names we just mentioned, I like him less than like McGreevy. And McGreevy is very generic. You know what I mean? Like he's not going to
Hmm.
wow you. But
Hmm.
I mean, Palante was one of the worst pitchers in Major League Baseball last year.
Mm.
There's no question there. So, and Fitz, I think, has quite a bit of upside. I really do. He's kind of under the radar now.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah.
His name isn't, but
No.
Oh, Andy, we know what you're thinking.
I know.
Just as soon as you made the noise, I knew it.
All right, can I ask you my question?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's a hypothetical. My wife and I do these all the time. We ask each other these questions for $1 billion.
Okay.
Would you do something for $1 billion? It's normally something pretty silly. All right, $1 billion on the line to
Jaw
win a
broken.
game.
Yes. Jaw broken.
To win a game, you have to win a game. We're
Jaw
talking about
removed.
what is that? 6 innings, 7? Is it 6 innings for the win recorded?
Five
Is that what it is?
innings.
Five.
Five.
Okay, five.
Yeah.
That's it. $1 billion on the line. Somebody's got to pitch 5 innings and win the game on our rotation. Who is it? You got to pick somebody, and if they do it, you win $1 billion. Who
Can I
are
see
you going to
spring
bet on?
training, or you're just asking me right now?
Just like today, right now. May, Libby, McGreevy, Palante, Fitz. I'll give you Leahy too.
I mean, Dustin May.
To go 5, okay. Andy?
The old.
I know. We know what you're going to say.
I'm riding and dying on Fitz, baby. Let's go for the memes.
Yep, okay. Andy's riding on Richie Fitz. Matt's going
Yeah.
with Dustin May.
The answer to your question is we're probably not getting $1 billion. That's the answer. It does not matter
No.
what the name of the
Right,
picture is. We're probably not getting $1 billion.
Yeah, because in this hypothetical, does the other is there someone else playing and they are hypothetically doing the same thing against us?
Yeah.
So then, yeah, we lose.
Because here's the thing. Here's the thing. I was reading something the other day where this writer said if I had to play like if I had to put together a team or have a pitcher pitch for my life, like for my soul, the devil, right, is going to come take my soul. Who do I want to pitch to save my soul? He said prime Pedro Martinez, which I don't think anybody could necessarily argue
Sure.
how disgusting he was. I didn't want to take it that far, so I went with the money
Mhm.
route. But I said that to say there's so much like on the roster. Like I don't know who
Mhm.
I would like
That's what I mean. There's no
Everybody
number
can
one.
do it. Libby has shown it. May has shown it. Even McGreevy has thrown like 8 innings. Palante's shown it. I mean, Fitz, who knows, right? Everybody's capable. It's just who would you bet to do it? It's just kind of interesting to think about.
Well, here's the last thing I'll say on our rotation in general, since we're on this topic. I saw a breakdown of position player WAR, and the Cardinals are actually towards the top half of the league with that. So as far as what our position players are expected to do, I think we would be respectable from the position player side. Our pitching is only above the Rockies, which is like saying we're last in baseball, you know? So this is where this team is going to sink or swim. And I realize that truly for this year, for the first time, I don't think we care too much if we sink or swim.
Yeah.
But here's what I'm going to say. The upside case, we've been doing that a little bit this offseason. The upside case, May pops.
Yep.
And Fitz is good. And
Libby takes a step.
Proves. Yeah. Then I think, I mean, you're like contending for a wild card spot again accidentally. Now, obviously, the downside, I think, is what will happen more that May isn't awesome, right? And just none of this stuff really works out the way that we think. And we're not very good. But this is the crux of the team right here, is this rotation thing, which is so interesting because for so long, the rotation's been the thing that's driven us, and it's either going to drive us or crash us. So
yeah, that and it's like for the first time in a long time, you know that there are actually pitching prospects coming that have something.
Oh, yes.
So it's like, don't feel like this is the end of the world if you're a Cardinals fan. Like, trotting this rotation out here. Remember, Heim has taken over as GM for the first time in over a decade to 2 decades. There has been a regime change here. These are all Mo's guys, minus Dustin May now. Who knows if Heim likes any of them? You know what I'm saying, right? Like, this is just you have to field a roster. There are dudes down there that are coming. Matt, to your point, if Libby pops, McGreevy pops, something happens, then your timeline to compete just moves to the left. If you know Libby's like legitimately good, that's awesome. It helps us. Now, if he regresses or these guys regress, that even answers some questions. As frustrating as that might be, we will now know, well, maybe Libby just doesn't have it and McGreevy is what we thought he was, right? Well, this is the year to figure that out, so it'll be interesting.
Yep.
For sure. Well, guys, thanks for tuning in to the Redbird Rundown, your go-to source for all things St. Louis Cardinals. Hey, be sure to subscribe to this and review the show. It really helps us grow. Love it. Follow us on Twitter, Blue Sky, Facebook, and YouTube for the latest updates. Keep those rally caps on, and let's go Cards.